हेलो दोस्तों, मैं कुमार गौरव।
मैं जॉन जोया।
तो आज हम लोग रिएक्शन देने वाले हैं 10 डिफरेंसेस बिटवीन इंडिया एंड अमेरिका। तो आज हम इस पर रिएक्शन देखेंगे और देखेंगे डिफरेंसेस इंडिया और अमेरिका में कौन से 10 टॉप डिफरेंसेस हैं। तो इससे पहले हम लोग शुरू करें,
लाइक करो, सब्सक्राइब करो, शेयर करो, कमेंट करो
और बेल आइकन भी दबा देना, क्योंकि हम जो भी नया वीडियो अपलोड करेंगे आपको नोटिफिकेशन के द्वारा मिल जाएगा। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं और देखते हैं 10 डिफरेंसेस।
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Leroy Kenton, and welcome back to another episode of FTD Facts. Now I got an exciting one for you. Have you just ever wondered what are some of the real differences between India and America? Because, you know, these countries are both leaders in many different ways. So I was curious, what were some of the differences between America and India? So starting off with number 10 all the way down to number 1. First we got cinema.
Yeah, Hollywood and Bollywood.
So
This
when
is
it comes
Shah
to
Rukh Khan,
Bollywood,
right?
that
Yeah,
refers
Shah
to
Rukh
the
Khan.
Hindi language motion picture industry in India, and Hollywood is the American motion picture industry named after the district of the same name in Hollywood, California. Bollywood
Incredible.
derives its name from the word Bombay, which is now known currently as Mumbai, and Hollywood. So they just piece those two words together. And in Indian cinema on a whole produces just under 2,000 movies per year. That's a lot.
Do you
When
know this?
you compare it to American cinema, they produce around 500 movies per year on average, give or take. Now, the next thing I want to look at is the differences between the cost of living. So,
Yeah,
renting a
obviously
one-room
here is cheaper.
apartment in a popular city in India will cost you around $200 a month. While when you look at the United States, the price that's going to run you up $1,000, maybe a little under $2,000, just depending on the area that you go to. So the differences in cost applies also to groceries, utilities, as well as entertainment. And earning a similar salary in India as in the United States converts to a higher standard of living, of course, in India when you convert the dollars into rupees. If you're a skilled professional, you can earn between $4,000 and $5,000 per month. In the United States, you can make anywhere between $6,000 and $7,000 a month as a professional. In many cases, it's still not enough to properly save and cover all the costs because the cost of living in America is that much higher.
Between me and my partner, we make anywhere between $100,000 and $110,000 a year, and that's considered low income here.
The next difference I want to look at
I
is
know
the differences
there's
in
too
the
many
flag.
icons.
So when we look at the Indian flag, saffron represents courage and sacrifice. The white represents peace and unity and truth. And the
I know
green
this
stands for
because I'm
faith
Indian.
and fertility. The blue symbolizes the sky and the ocean. But the blue Dharma chakra itself in the middle has 24 spokes, and this means the wheel of law. It represents the continuing progress of the nation and the importance of justice in life. On the American flag, we see the 50 stars that represent the 50 states, as well as the 13 stripes represent the 13 original colonies, and the red stands for the courage and the bloodshed. The white stands for purity and vigilance, and the blue stands for justice and perseverance. Okay, so moving on to number 7, we have a big difference in time.
I know this also.
Americans are often
I am
said
more
to be
experienced about
completely super impatient. Life is lived in the fast lane, of course, with tons of different conveniences, and deadlines in businesses are very tight, very strict, and they're expected to be met. In India, life moves at much slower pace despite all of its massive amount of activity in big cities. Time is viewed more as a circular concept rather than a linear concept, and also the importance of meeting deadlines just aren't there. Oftentimes, workers in India who are part of a team may not even know that there's a specific deadline for a project because that's the responsibility of the supervisor. Now, there's some other stereotypes about Indian time and American time. I'm not going to get into that right now.
I thought
but
that
I'm gonna
he
move
will
on to the next
tell
difference
about the
is
difference, how
difference
many
in
differences.
language.
Yeah, that's what
English
I
and
was
Hindi
thinking.
are considered to be
Like
the official
this, yeah.
languages in India. It's impossible to consider moving to India if you just plan to just completely rely on speaking English. While English can be applied in the business world,
Absolutely
outside
right.
of that, however, 80% of the people in India speak or understand Hindi, making it the most widely used language in the country. English, on the other hand, is understood and spoken by less than 50% of the population in India. But in the United States, you can manage pretty well with just speaking English alone. At number 5, halfway halfway in this episode, we have business relationships. To Indians, relationship building is important. Having an established and meaningful relationship helps there be more transparency, trust, and much more smooth communication. In the United States, business is much more just get the job done. Small talk is also considered a waste of time to many people since there's an emphasis on just getting straight to business. Indians may find Americans very dismissive or rude, while Americans may consider Indians to be complete time wasters. Number 4 brings us to the difference in higher education.
I had so much to pay, and it just was overwhelming. I didn't know how to do it. I never saw a number that big.
I just went to school for a few months, and now I have this $40,000 extra dollars that I have to pay.
So higher education is much cheaper in India. You can get an advanced education at a good private university for around $15,000 per month. But in the United States, you'd be lucky if you were paying $15,000 per semester. And generally, you'll end up paying upwards of $50,000 per year into your education.
I have $69,812.
$47,000.
$90,000.
$35,000.
Oh my God.
$60,000 worth of student.
However, having a degree from a United States university can do a lot more good in the long run simply because degrees from the United States are globally held in higher regard than those from India. You'll just need to choose between paying a lot more for a more valuable degree or paying less for the same education but having a degree that's considered to be less valuable. When it comes to differences between the teachers, former US President Barack Obama once said that he pities the teachers who have more than 30 students in a classroom. This is because in the United States, the teacher-to-student ratio doesn't exceed 1 to 30 students in most classrooms. However, in India, it's completely different. The teacher-to-student ratio over there, do you know what this is? 1 teacher to 80 students, sometimes 1 teacher to 100 students.
It's very hard for the school as well as for the parent because we already have 80 to 85 students per class, and there are plenty of people who come to me for admission. I'm helpless while telling them that the school is full, overflowing, and as a result of which I cannot admit their children.
So just imagine you're teaching a subject and you can't even see the back of the classroom. There's so many students in there. How do you keep track of all of that? That's insane. The next difference is spirituality. The Indian culture is steeped in religion, and Indians are used to being very introspective. Your religious beliefs are openly brought up in a business context, and that's pretty common. However, when it comes to America, many Americans are religious, although far fewer as a percentage of the population than in India. But bringing up your faith or your religion in the workplace is seen as imposing it on other people. Americans, very generally speaking, tend to be more materialistic than spiritual.
So often we are just ill prepared to work in a place with people who are different from us and who have beliefs that are different from us. And because of this, we end up with workplaces that stifle a very important piece of who their employees are.
And the number one difference between the United States and India is yoga. So yoga is a craze in the United States. A lot of people are doing it. Yoga, of course, also is practiced in India. You know, that's where it originated from. But it's available far more easily and commercially in the United States.
With your mats rolled out, ready to enjoy a wonderful yoga adventure. Now today we have an adventure which is a yoga adventure morphing into a video game.
In America, the commercialization of yoga has allowed for a large range and a variety of practices or different variations of yoga to be done.
This is Minecraft yoga. So we have to build a shelter, a house. Coming up to stand, jump your feet wide, take your arms wide and bring them up above your head.
But in India, people practice yoga as a way of spiritual growth. And they pursue other practices like going to the gym for health reasons. And being taught yoga in India is seen as a great honor, and it carries a lot more significance than the United States. Oftentimes, yoga in the United States is just reduced to an exercise. So with that said, oftentimes Indians just view the American practice simply as borrowing the name yoga and not actually the practice of yoga itself.
Real yoga, you should not move too much. So there is no dancing yoga. People are writing dancing yoga. Nowhere is it written in the scriptures dancing yoga. But you can do today anything.
So those are your 10 differences between India and America. And I got a question that I got to throw out there to you guys. What do you love most about India and America? Sound off down below in the comments section. And before we click away, don't forget to check out another differences video that I made. You can click on the annotation right here in front of your screen or on the link down below in the video description.
So, what made you surprise the differences between US and America?
Yeah, actually, I'm surprised that about the businesses.
Yeah.
They talk about in
Like
America. Yeah. They said they consider the America will actually consider the Indians as time wasters because they try to create a relationship according to him. But in America, just do the work. That's just what business is all about.
I thought that he will talk about the time difference between the
that's also what came to my mind initially when they talk about time, and also what I like for